Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Of course, this Sunday is some of the biggest gambler days that's ever been because of a Super Bowl.
You know what? That was my first question. The Super Bowl is coming up, and you know that I know that's a layman's a very introductory question, but let's start there. Is it a big day for gambling?
No, gigantic.
No, but if you really know what you're doing, because there are those games that the guys that really know what they're doing go it wouldn't surprise me is what I'm saying, is if somebody that was into this goes, I never touched the Super Bowl.
No, every professional gambler gambles on the Super Bowl because there's so many options.
Okay.
And that's why, to be successful at gambling, you need a bunch of options, and because
that's what I said with love. That's how I felt. You would love to be successful. You need a bunch of options,
and only in prop bets, like the sides and the total. Is stay away from.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
But all the little prop bets, especially for people that are betting small amounts, like basically everybody listening to the show who's betting $50 here, $10, little small bets. Just to make the game more fun.
And we got the Hard Rock app now, so a lot more people are donkeying out, as you would, they'll just pick it up. I'll just throw $100 on it.
Although the Hard Rock app, they haven't posted any of the fun, halftime show bets or the goofy ones.
Of that? You no fun. Get to
work.
No,
I like because I like the fun bets during the Super Bowl because those are where I find the biggest edges.
Little edges.
I believe.
Okay.
So I figured we'd talk about some Super Bowl prop bets because I have put a lot of time, basically more time than any other thing in my entire life, including this company, my sons, my wife, any other thing. I've been obsessed about finding the edge in the Super Bowl.
Sam, did you know
prop.
that? If he put as much time as he puts into his Super Bowl prop bets, and I put as much time as I do into sending emails to porn stars, okay, I do. Every afternoon, I sit here and I go to my favorite porn stars, and I'm just throwing love at them.
Hey, to help us talk about these Super Bowl bets, I called my gambling buddy.
Yes, you have a lot of them.
I feel like you have a lot of those.
You have a lot of gambling buddies. Which one?
Yeah,
well, some have stopped talking to me.
Is this Skinny Joe, or is this Two Nickel Nick?
Well, the Scorpion.
The Scorpion.
Who was really
is this the Scorpion?
Sharp on baseball. No, the Scorpion stopped talking to me.
Okay.
I use the Puerto Rican Scorpion.
He's done.
Yeah.
Sam, that was a real person.
He got into, I think, a dark place in the gambling world.
Something happened because I got a text one night. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Dad, this is the Puerto Rican Scorpion." I'm like, "How'd you get my number?" Seriously, he's a baseball guy.
But on the line with us is Jeff.
That doesn't sound like you went from the Scorpion to Jeff.
What the hell?
Come on, give this guy a name for Christ's sake. Dude,
It's funny.
What are you doing?
I had to go look up his name again because
you know what? You should hang up. You should hang up. Every best friend says I had to go look your name up.
Well, I know him as a sharp square because of my
then call
radio
him the
days.
Sharp Square.
Because
that's a better nickname than Jeff. Hey, everybody, we're gonna do a crazy gambling segment with Jeff.
Okay, we've got the Sharp Square. Jeff on the line. How you doing, Sharp Square?
Hold on, I've got Puerto Rican Scorpion on the other line. Information about some chicken fights down in Tijuana.
Exactly.
All right, let's get down to business.
Yeah, get to work, Jeff.
I figure we'll just go back and forth with props that we like, and then we'll kind of explain to Daniel and Sam why we like these particular props. So I'll let you go first, Sharp Square.
Well, Daniel, you are on to something where some professional gamblers do kind of look at the Super Bowl as like alcoholics look at New Year's Eve, where not all professionals out there. So in these playoff games, especially, the point spreads in the game, the markets are so refined that it's tough, but you find yourself doing what Tom is saying, which is going through all these goofball prop bets because, the degenerates in us actually think we can find some sort of value in whether or not Taylor Swift will wear her hair up for the game.
And it is fun. I like this part. Yeah, I think this stuff's kind of fun.
Because some of them are pure shot in the dark, like Reba McEntire's color of her boots. It's
I thought you were going to say something else.
Like, unless you have some sort of inside...
Well, if they're not red, white, and blue, I'm turning the game off. That's just
if you have some sort
facts.
of inside information, then maybe you have an edge. But other than that, it's just like you're picking a blind color. You're just like, you're
Will
eagle
the
red or whatever.
ghost of Toby Keith enter an eagle and fly over the game during halftime.
Yeah, but, actually, Tom, you can sometimes just sort of watch the way the market moves throughout the week and get some insight into those bets. Like one of the famous ones is the Gatorade color. What color Gatorade are they going to dump on the coach's head? If earlier in the week you see blue Gatorade at like plus 500, but then closer to Saturday or Sunday it's down to like plus even money, it tells you somebody knows something. So you can sort of look at the way that these odds move, and even though the prices won't be as favorable for a big payoff, the market sort of tells you on a lot of these bets, once they get a little inside information on old Reba McEntire's boots, the odds might go way down, and you at least know that's probably the way to go for a winner.
Yeah, because the information leaks out because someone is in charge of dressing her, mixing Gatorade, and then they tell friends, and then spider webs out of control, and then all of a sudden you're watching the market.
We got to get a guy on the inside that can control the color of the Gatorade from the field.
Oh, they've done.
Has anybody tried to put a color tab in the Gatorade or anything at all?
Well, now it's funny that you mentioned that, Jeff. Now they have specific Gatorade containers, like those big orange ones.
Oh, they put a piece of tape on it, like Uber Eats.
And then they're sitting.
Don't break the seal.
On the table, but they're all different colors, and then they tell the players grab whichever one you want because they
so it's random.
So
they make them all.
Yes. So there's no way that you can fix
you degenerates have fixed the Gatorade game. They can't even just have the regular Gatorade.
And I like citrus coolers.
God,
you weirdos are making me drink fruit punch, and I don't even want fruit punch. I want citrus cooler.
All right, let's get down to business, Jeff. First
to
prop.
work.
Yeah, what's your first one?
Okay. Sometimes what I like to do and what I'd recommend to people is go through and make a list of props you want to bet, but have stuff that's going to be live throughout the game. Like, don't do all of the props that are pregame and then have nothing else left. Like, sort of stagger it out. But, us degenerates, we get itchy. So I'm going to have stuff early. Right off the bat, will the opening kickoff result in a touchback? And you have to lay big money for the yes. You actually get like 2.5 to 1 on your money. So you can bet $10 to win 25 on the no. And the thought is, especially this year, games in a dome, you're out there in Vegas where there's higher altitude, kicks are going to travel farther. And everybody expects that opening kickoff to go into the back of the end zone. But what they've found out over the past couple of years is they use a special commemorative ball. I don't know if it's a Nerf ball or if it's made out of plastic or what, but it just doesn't travel as far. So this is not a guaranteed lock by any means, but over like the past 30 years, 25 of the kicks or something crazy like that have actually been taken out of the end zone or ran back. So this is a case where just based on the history of the stat, more often than not, it's not a touchback, and here's a chance where we can get plus 250. So I really like the fact that you can get a plus money bet on something that has a real reasonable shot of happening, no touchback on the opening kickoff.
God, I said this last time he was on the show. When he explains it to me, I get it.
No, well, hold on here, because
I like what he's saying.
Jeff, I've fallen into this trap last year, and I bet no touchback on the opening kickoff and got burned last year. And apparently, if you dive deeper into this, I guess Pat McAfee.
Oh, your whole friendship's falling apart.
Well, I'm just letting the audience know.
I like McAfee again now. I used to hate him. Now I like him again. He was on wrestling last night. He was good.
Apparently, McAfee is the one that leaked about using the commemorative ball because he's a kicker. So he was talked about this, and then so the word is out about the commemorative ball. And
you're like, everybody knows that.
And then apparently even the kickers know that. And then I heard some talk about like the opening kickoff because of the higher altitude.
I brought my own ball.
And because they did it last year. Now it does depend on whether it's Butker or Moody because the Kansas City kicker is better. So if the San Francisco kicks off the ball, you probably have a better chance of this cashing. But I do like this bet in general and the idea of it, Jeff.
Backpedaling a little bit to save your friendship. I think.
No, he's on the right side of it.
Okay.
I'll say that.
All right.
All right, I got one. And this one took a lot of time to research.
Jeff, I expect you to blow straight mega holes through this and ruin his excitement.
Reba McEntire's national anthem over.
Ooh.
Okay, so here's my rationale.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I know where you're going to go with this.
So
She's a single mom that works 2 jobs.
Reba McEntire.
So she works hard and never stops.
She's a rich old lady. Now, so Reba McEntire has sung the national anthem in 2 prior sporting events. One in the World Series back in 1997. Okay. And
it was a slower time.
And that time came in at 1 minute 23 seconds, way under the posted.
Yeah, she gets to work and gets it done.
Yeah, well, she isn't going to dilly-dally it up. You're not going to get a lot of flourishes. You're not going to get any of that garbage.
Here's your one chance, Fancy.
Yeah, she's also a good American.
Well,
don't let me down.
The time started at 86.5 seconds for this prop.
Yeah.
And Bovada's got it at 1 minute 28 seconds, 88 seconds, and the over minus 110, which I like.
What did it start at?
Started at 86.5 seconds. In some books, that's why it's important to line shop, because each book has some books have different numbers.
Yeah.
So going back to the World Series, so she came in under in the World Series, but I went back and watched that whole
the whole
this
time.
is what you do on your time.
Tom has been watching tape of Reba sing the national anthem all week.
And it was windy, and she was cold.
She was trying to get the hell out of there.
And she was trying to get the hell out of there. And she got up there. It was wind. The wind was blowing around, and she ended brave. She did like a half brave at the end, which cut her way short.
Oh, she did a quick brave.
So then in 1999, 2 years later, she sang the national anthem at a Cowboys game, all right? And then
I'll forgive her for that.
That time came in at 91 seconds, way over this Super Bowl posted time, right? And so that was in the Cowboy Stadium.
So you're taking the over?
And so I'm taking the over, because guess what? 25 years later.
In a dome.
And guess what? 25-year-old or 25-year years will
What is
do
she,
to a
in her
person.
60s?
Probably.
Yeah.
It slows you down, right?
Well,
so
I
there's
mean,
no
also
way
she's going to be better. The audio will be better. When we
Wow,
know this.
68.
Here, let me help your edge.
Okay.
We've done this, but not in a dome. You can hear a lot better in a dome. And she's going to have the good in-ear monitors and everything.
So 25 years ago at the Dallas game, she went over
90?
this time at 91 seconds, 1 minute and 31 seconds. So Bovada right now has over at 1 minute 28 seconds at minus 110, which is good money, because I looked at, like, my bookie has got 87.5. The over is minus 135. So in other books, it's already getting juiced to the over. So I love Reba McEntire.
The terms make me uncomfortable. Like
Over.
getting juiced and whacking the stick. And
At Bovada's price of minus 110, 1 minute 28 seconds. What do you think about that, Jeff?
I'm ashamed to admit how much money I've lost over the years betting the national anthem over or under. The other thing I read
So
about
don't take this guy's advice, because he's bad at this one. He's bad at this one.
Have you heard the evidence?
No, Jeff.
No, he's saying himself.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jeff, you need
Jeff
to.
is bad at
yeah,
this
you need
one.
to jump on
Are
this.
you listening?
Yeah, jump
Tom?
on this, Jeff. Tom's got this one. I think he figured this one out, actually.
He's got a good point there. The other thing is she going to have does anybody know, is she going to have a band with her or anything? Because all it takes is one guy on his guitar.
As of right now, I have heard that it's going to be Jimmy Fallon and the Roots using kids instruments and Dog the Bounty Hunter on
so
kazoo.
over that.
One kid takes an extra hit on the ukulele, and all of a sudden we're flying over.
Yeah, and all the bets are ruined, sure.
If there's a band, you could be good, but I'll go back. This is another one where, as you get closer to the game, the way this number moves will tell you if it's going to be over or not, because she's got to do a dress rehearsal the day before or something, and they're going to sync it up with the flyover of the F-16s, and they want that thing close. So whatever she does in practice close to the event, they want her sticking close to that. So this is another one where you might see the numbers start to move towards, to let you know, kind of hint at what direction you should be going.
You could bet on how many Jets are in the flyover over under 4.5. That's on BetOnline.
I've dug deep into this one, man.
What about what she wears? Like, you did boots. Do they do clothing?
You can
like
bet.
Color dress.
Bovada's got. Will she be wearing a cowboy hat during the national anthem?
No, she won't.
She is in Dallas though, right?
No, I don't think she will though. That's
but you take your hat off.
Oh, that's right.
But the
yeah.
no is like minus 175, and you can only bet $10.
Yeah. Now, can you bet on weird things like when she does take her cowboy hat off? Will her hair be attached?
They do not.
So they don't have any really crazy like weird things on there, or will Justin
or will she
Timberlake
mess up the word?
Yeah. Will Justin Timberlake pull part of her jacket down to reveal one of her breasts?
Okay.
With a sundial nipple piercing.
Okay, since you brought that up, I'm gonna take mine before Jeff takes his.
Okay, please, yes.
There is a bet. Will Usher expose his nipple on stage on BetOnline?
This BetOnline's crazy. I gotta get on BetOnline. Those jokers are nuts.
And I am betting on the no minus 150. Now,
but will he show Justin Bieber's groomed breast? He might.
There's no way Usher pulls up his shirt and shows his nipple.
Not in a million years.
It doesn't happen.
Now wait a minute.
Take his shirt off when he's dancing.
Let's go with this
I'll
for a
lose
second.
if that happens, but I don't think he does.
But
have you seen his Vegas show?
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Let's talk about this for a second. Isn't there a possibility that he's on stage and because he is a sexy R&B singer, and he does one of those moves where he pulls his hands up his chest,
does the body roll,
and he does a body roll, and the shirt opens up. And then he is bare chest. I'm not saying he's doing anything gross or holding his boob or anything. Is that a lost bet?
That would be a lost bet because if the nipple shows, I lose my bet. Here's the problem.
If he pulls up and just shows abs, you're still good.
It has to expose his nipple.
All right.
I don't think the NFL wants to get anywhere near that.
Well,
Me neither.
They let Jason Kelsey do it, and they put him all over the TV.
Yeah, but he's a big fatso.
Right, but it's a nipple.
Yeah, but
he's harmless.
But they like the fat guy drinking in the stands because they're like, he's like one of our fans.
Yeah, don't show a black guy's nipple. The conservative Christians will riot.
But on the field, I feel like the NFL's like, don't take your shirt off. You know,
they had Shakira and J-Lo pole dancing, basically.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I enjoyed that one.
But the NFL is sexist. So they like that.
They do like cheerleaders.
They like the pole dancing, not so much the men's nipples.
I hope you lose this one.
I mean, there's a possibility.
We only got a few minutes, so let's get through these.
Keep going. This is good. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm not going to touch the Usher one. Quickly, just because I've wasted so much of my life researching this, as it asks you how many Jets will do the flyover. The over-under on that's 4.5. And actually, it was pretty interesting. I just looked into a lot of history on like the flyover and things. But this year, it's going to be the Thunderbirds or the team doing it. It's sort of like a flight team, like the Blue Angels or something. But these guys are a team of 6. And so it's usually 6 planes. It's 4 doing all the fancy stuff and then 2 more showboating. But whenever they do a run, they finish with all 6. And I actually finally found an article because nobody was giving away any information. But I finally found some obscure article on like a military website that said they were practicing for this and the 6 planes came by in formation for the finale of their practice. So this is one of those ones I think you got to lay a little money. You got to lay minus 135 on this one. But I kind of think just from the Thunderbirds and the way that they do their flight routines, I've seen them a lot at air shows with my dad.
Yeah, me too.
It's 6 planes. So I think this is actually a pretty good one there.
All right, I like that one.
That's a really good one.
Here's another one that I really like. Will any player cry during the national anthem? BetOnline's got no at plus 150. And I'm betting on the no.
What if I can pick the player? Do I get extra money?
Well, the thing is, the camera tries to find, the quintessential shot of the player crying.
I do like that.
Or singing along.
Yeah, I like all of that.
Here's why I think no. First, the Chiefs have been there. A lot of these players have been here a lot of times.
Yeah, Chiefs are ready to go.
Multiple times.
Andy Reid will be eating a hamburger during the national anthem.
And then
he's ready to go.
The 49ers, the whole year and last year, everybody expected them to go, right?
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there's gonna be players that are losing, like are crying because they're finally got there because they have felt like they deserve to be there the whole time.
Afterwards is different.
Yes, yeah. During the national anthem, and I don't think that's a thing so much anymore.
I'm an emotional person. I think you got this one right because if I'm as emotional, Danny, I would be more hyped and excited to get me in. I wouldn't cry. I'd cry afterwards.
Also, I mean, just let's be honest, a lot of the players are kind of mad at the national anthem. Like, that's their instinct, not so much to cry, but a little bit kneel. Anyway, all right, Jeff, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, you're really – I see what you're saying about the Chiefs, but, I mean, these guys, you're going to be caught up in a lot of emotion and stuff. I remember the coach of the Eagles, Nick Sirianni, he was bawling like he just lost his puppy or something.
We don't talk about him. He's weak. We don't talk about him.
But we got Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid. They ain't crying. Sirianni, of course, what does he even do?
I don't see Andy Reid doing anything other than standing there and waiting for the game to start politely.
Sirianni's a goofball that no one even knows what he does. Everybody's like, you don't call the plays. What do you do? Anyway.
That's mean. Anything else? Anything else? What's the goofiest one you guys saw? Jeff, is there one that like one that you guys didn't expect this year that you saw that you're like, what is this garbage?
There's so many, and they're all goofy. I mean,
I'm surprised there aren't any political ones about because that was the story.
Oh, I mean, you could bet if Bitcoin's going to go up, Ethereum's going to go up during the game, or there's a million prop bets. Jeff, do you have any straightforward ones? I know, I'll mention real quick on the actual game when the lines first came out. I did tease the Chiefs up and then the total down to 41 because 41's a key number. But apparently, if you talk to a professional, you're not supposed to tease totals. You don't get the same value. But I did teasing the total down.
You're going out on your own and trying some things.
But mathematically, it's not really correct. But out of just the side and total, that's the only position I'm taking.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing, actually. And part of it is just look, I know this isn't the sharpest thing in the world, but I don't want to bet unders. I'm not rooting against stuff happening. So, I think definitely a good thing for people is just remember they're setting a line out there that has a shot to hit either way. So I hear you, Tom. A lot of professionals, they want to go under in this game. They wanted to tell you to go under on all the props. That's the only place where the value is. But if I'm just a casual bettor who wants to have some action in the game, I'd rather have the over and then just go sports ball and root for that throughout the thing. So I did the exact same thing as you. I don't really have too much of an opinion on the game, so I cheesed the Chiefs up so I could get a good number. And then, I'll just hope that San Francisco's winning by a little bit and they just start throwing the ball all over and Mahomes has a big game.
I can see that.
But I got to give this because I really like this prop and it takes us off actually talking seriously about football.
Okay.
I'm betting Travis Kelce to win the MVP. And at the odds, I got it at 19-1. It's down to 14-1. But you got to remember that this is a business and they're putting on a TV show. And I know normally it's quarterbacks get the MVP, but Mahomes has already gotten two. If Travis Kelce has any kind of decent game here, the ultimate business decision is going to be to give him the MVP. And there could be a little bit of corporate guys from CBS in the ears of the 16 panels of journalists that are voting for this. And then there's 20% of the vote comes from the fans, which those Swifties are going to break the internet. I don't care if Travis Kelce doesn't even play. He's going to get that 20% of the vote. So is this a high likely thing? Is he the favorite for this? No. But if you're getting any kind of double-digit odds on this, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And it's not a tinfoil hat theory, just dude's going to be a Hall of Famer. If he has a great game, I could certainly see him winning the MVP, and the odds are begging me to put a piece of action.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, directionally, that does make the most sense and makes the most business sense for the NFL.
It doesn't typically happen, but I can see it.
For Travis Kelce to win the MVP and then kiss Taylor Swift on the field, that's the storybook ending that they want.
God, dude.
That's what the money wants.
Yeah.
So it is a good idea to bet what the money wants. Jeff, again, the Sharp Square podcast, you can listen to it where all podcasts are heard.
Yeah, man. Great talking to you, dude. Thanks for your time today and for giving us some info.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And I'll just say there's hours and hours of content. Me and my buddy Mike, we put together a Super Bowl show. It's 30 minutes. So, hey, you can listen to it while you go out and take your dog for a walk. It's quick. It's through everything. It's to the point. Would really appreciate it if you like it to give it a listen.
Perfect. And I've got one sure thing I'll tell later on the show that
we don't want to talk to you about that.
All right.
That's not for your ears.
We'll be right back.
All right.
So from the chat, says if he got the MVP bet placed at 19-1 odds and it's now down to 14-1 odds, if he wins, does he get winnings from 14-1 or 19-1?
No, you get it from when you bet.
Where you locked it in, right?
That's why you win. That's why he shops on Mondays, right, or Sunday afternoons.
Yeah, you get it early. That's the whole. Yeah, and that's the really only advantage that you have.
Right. Segment 2.
In sports gambling is that you get better odds, and then when the game starts, if the odds are less good, then you have the advantage, and therefore it's a positive expected value bet.
We just have one more little segment for tonight.
Yep, we need 19 for segment 4.
Okay. Let's go. You guys want to go through some emails?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do
And
that.
I'll tell you one more bet that I just that I really like. And
cool. I love the prop bets. Okay. I can bring us back. Here we go. In 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So I'll tell you about one more quick bet.
Please.
I know no one that's into betting cares about any of this stuff, but
Well, no,
I
if
feel
they
like
were-
people that are into betting
they
would
would.
care, but
They
everybody
would.
else
no,
doesn't.
I know, yeah.
no.
It's a weird thing because it's
Yeah, it's cool. It's something you're into, dude. Tell me. Go.
okay. So there's a bet, the result of the first coaches challenge, right? And so it's either going to stand or be overturned.
Okay,
right?
yeah, gotcha.
And the overturned is minus 135. Obviously, it's favored that it'll be overturned, which is statistically correct. But here's why I really like this in the Super Bowl. So I did a lot of research with this, and apparently there's between like 8 and 11 or 8 and 20 cameras in a normal Super Bowl broadcast on CBS.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, a regular game on CBS.
Okay.
But in the Super Bowl, there's 112 cameras.
Jesus.
Obviously, like they have more cameras for the Super Bowl. So more cameras.
Drastic amount more though. My
Yeah,
God.
a huge amount more. Obviously, it's the biggest televised game in the NFL. So with that many cameras, there's a lot more angles on every play, right? So all the coaches get a lot more angles on every play. Also, the timeouts are more valuable in the Super Bowl, and coaches are a lot more conservative with timeouts, right?
Sure.
So if you're going to challenge a play first, you are probably going
truly
to
consider it. And you're not going to do it unless it's a sure
yeah,
thing.
yeah. And since the rule change in 2011 and 12, like now they review every turnover and every scoring play,
it's almost
right?
like getting free challenges.
So now they used to challenge and lose a lot on scoring plays and turnovers because it was just an auto
But they
challenge.
handle that in New York now.
But now they handle that. So
Yeah.
the coaches are only challenging other plays, right? And because of the cameras and because of Andy Reid's been here a lot, right? And
That's a good bet.
And like apparently Andy Reid has a 50% or 56% overturned rate where he wins challenges. Then Kyle Shanahan's on the other side. Like I look at this bet at minus 135. that the first challenge will be overturned as good value.
It would make sense that in that game, everybody's there to play. You're not going to come with that red flag unless you know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that makes sense to me.
That's
a good one.
So and you can find that on Bovada, and again, you just search around and just scroll through.
Well, the
all
cool
of them.
thing would be to get in on it now and then watch it change.
Yeah.
Because, some of the people in the chat room were asking about that. Cool. I like that one. All right, let's jump to some, pardon me. Let's jump to some email messages. We neglect our emails. So,
we do.
Sam,
I got a lot stacked up over here.
What do you got over there?
It says, "Hi, Tom, Dan, and Sam. I was listening to the hot air balloon / Bert Kreischer engagement story, and I've got a cringy one for you. The following is important for context. I was engaged to my high school boyfriend for about 6 months when I was 18, then later married a different guy in my 30s from who I am now divorced. Both those engagements sucked, but those are stories for a different day. I've been with current boyfriend for about a year. We'll likely move in together soon, but to my knowledge, he's not shopping for rings yet. Anywho, we went to breakfast the other morning at Kiki's. It was really busy, so we were sitting in the lobby waiting for a table, just chit-chatting. I had tooted a little too hard right before we walked in, so I was chirping. Recently, I had noticed a weird coincidence. All 3 of my significant relationships were guys with the last names that start with the same letter. I meant to say it in that way, but what came out instead was, all 3 guys I've been engaged to have last names that start with the letter X. Of course, his eyes became wide and terrified, and I immediately backpedaled. He was really gracious. He was really gracious and sweet about it, and we managed to move on from it pretty quickly, but my cheeks are still red. If he didn't love me as much as he does, I think that would have been the end of a great love affair. Here's hoping that in the future it will be a cute part of our love story and not an example of how crazy his ex is."
Well, I mean,
Sent from the nearest Waffle
it
House.
depends on the person, right? Like, if you're with me and you say that, it's going to bother me until I break up with you. If you're with Tom and you say that, he doesn't even notice that you said it, and it doesn't matter because it is facts. Did you get engaged to 3 different guys who have the letter X as their last name? If that's true and you said it, he shouldn't be offended by it.
Yeah, and also,
that's me, the sensitive guy, saying that, but I can also say, undoubtedly, that if you said that to me at Kiki's breakfast, I would probably be upset.
And
also, well, it's more of like he hasn't proposed yet, and she's insinuating that that's going to happen? Is that not what you guys got from that?
No, what I got from it is that the weird thing to me that's unique is that you are, whether the last one you're going to go ahead and connect the dots or not, you've been engaged to 3 guys that have the last name that start with the letter X. That's weird.
Well, the fact that you've been engaged to 3 different guys is odd.
Yeah, it's typically not.
Unless you're in your 60s.
People get divorced all the time and remarried.
They do, but it is odd. It is an odd thing.
It's a tell.
Yeah, it can be a tell.
Yeah.
That's a better way to say it. It can be a tell.
I
can't control the other person, but you can do, like, if we were going to bet on this.
If you're 38 years old and then
I'm 47.
And then in your prior relationship you've been engaged 3 times and never been married, that's a little odd. Like, why did that happen? 3 different times?
Lots of things happen.
I know, but
it could be
on
nothing.
both people's ends.
It could
correct, and you can't control the other person's, but unfortunately, it is a tell. It's like if I were looking at it, I mean, that's evidence for like something, you're crazy. That's what it means. It means you're crazy. There, I'll say it.
Well, Daniel said it.
It means you're crazy.
If you've been engaged 3 times and not been married.
What if it was all on the other person, though? What if all 3 people cheated on you that you were engaged to? That's not your fault.
It's kind of your fault.
I would say if you were a person, you got cheated on 3 times. Why are you so weak in letting these people cheat on you?
Why did you pick that? Why did you pick that other person?
You're
as
bad
a
at
partner?
picking.
Well, that's something.
Somebody in the chat room said your picker's broken. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
it could be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not directly your fault, but your picker's broken.
You're closer to your fault than my fault. Not my fault.
I know it's the other person's fault for cheating on you, but it's kind of like you're choosing the wrong.
You're not putting enough effort into your choosing.
Yeah, partner here.
I don't know. We're making this worse.
No. Because there are plenty of people in this world, and everybody knows of one of them.
No, I'm thinking of one right now.
That chooses horrible partners.
I choose you.
And why they do that is probably they need therapy. And they need to figure out why.
And you can get trapped in that too.
Yeah,
but it doesn't sound like that is this. It sounds like for this example, you actually picked the right person, especially if he's extra sweet.
Well,
and
maybe
you said something like that, and he didn't freak out. I would say that probably errs on the side of him being a good dude.
But having like the same letter of your last name being the same is like a nothing coincidence to me. Yeah, as opposed to
that's a
See, I don't think so because first of all, it's 3 times, and second of all, it's a letter X. I don't know anybody
No,
with
I
the
don't.
last
I don't
name
think it
X.
actually was a letter X.
Yeah.
I think she was using that as an example.
I was going to say then use. I'm not going to tell you the last name because if you tell me in the email that all of their last name is the letter X, I'm going to go, yo, that is weird because I don't know one person with the last name that starts with the letter X.
But it's like that. If you told me that, like, oh, my past 3 prior relationships, they all had been to jail or something, or like some sort of other trait,
You're
where
like
it's
a
just
bad
like,
boy.
yeah, where it's like now
a personality trait.
A personality.
Not a name they couldn't choose.
Yeah, the name is kind of like that's just a.
What if they all had the same first name?
That's kind of
weird.
random
That's
too.
a little weird.
It is a little weird because you always hear the stories of like, I'm like, how often does this happen where someone says the wrong name during sex?
I never say
But
names
if all
during
your
sex.
exes had the same names,
I never say names during sex.
Yeah. That
I'm gonna
happens
start
less
doing it.
often
I'm
than
gonna start
people-
yelling names during sex.
Yeah.
Jerry Johnson.
that's a
Peter.
that's a movie thing. I think
Sally.
That's a
That never happened.
That's a lazy writing movie thing.
It's never happened.
Yeah, or if it has, the other person didn't even notice it, or
Yeah.
didn't like, what did you call me? Like, it's always in the movie that you say the wrong name,
Yeah.
and the person's like, what?
Yeah.
And then it stops the moment and
see-
kills everything.
Yeah,
I was like, nah.
I have to get off. Remember the page that I was on for a while on Reddit where people would go in there and like, am I the a-hole or like, am I in the wrong here? And they'd ask stupid questions.
right?
I had to leave
Yeah.
I had to leave the group because now people are going in there and they're so starved for attention and they just so want people to give them, digital high fives that they're making up things that have never happened and then putting them in there just so they can get clicks.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah.
addicted we are. Like, so Reddit, you've got people in there that are airing out real problems, and then you got people that are like, I called my wife by the wrong name. Oh, give me digital love.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
weirdos. You freaking weirdos. Oh, my God. You're terrible. It's just terrible.
All
You
right.
got another?
Yeah.
email?
Only child syndrome?
What were you going to do? You were like, all right.
Yeah, where were you going?
I thought you were going to hit a
Hello?
button. You were
I was gonna run out of here.
He was looking down at more bets.
I thought he was going to run out of here.
Longtime listener and supporter of you guys. I'm also an only child. From listening to you, I've heard lots of similarities between us. Not sure if it's an only child thing or not. It seems everyone I know has at least a brother or sister, and they don't do stuff like me. I wanted to ask you about one that I think I've heard you talk about. I tend to talk to myself a lot and can get into my head and get myself riled up over the stupidest stuff. Especially when I'm by myself, it's the worst. And I can't ever get out of my head, and it will ruin my day. If you do, what's the best way that helps you to stop? This morning, I just called someone for the first time to help me get out of my head. Sorry for the long email, and I will also push on spots that hurt to feel the pain, but I think that's something else.
Yeah.
So you're like a cutter, but you push on spots.
I talk to
You're a
myself
pusher.
a lot.
I do too, though. I don't know that's an only child thing.
I don't
Yeah,
think it necessarily, I don't think it's exclusive to, but I will tell you that I am better.
Sounds like you have a lot of anxiety, sir.
Yeah, go, and you made the right choice in calling somebody to.
Yeah.
I like being alone. So, like, when I am suffering from extreme anxiety or depression, I actually enjoy to be by myself. Like, I prefer it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can relate to what you're saying, but as an only child, yeah, there are certain things. I think the way that I take care of my possessions is an only child trait. The fact that I like to have things organized and in a way I never had to share them with anybody. So of course I want them in my style, like I never had any opposition. I didn't grow up with any opposition to that. So it makes sense that, but no, I've enjoyed being an only child, and I try to take the things that I don't like about it and help Maisie navigate that a little bit, because she is going to stay an only child at least until Andrea and I get a divorce and I start my new family. So,
yeah, but you won't. Like Maisie and your new family.
I have tons of kids. They'll get along, I think.
No,
You don't think so?
you keep them separate, and you don't even tell. Like you don't even.
I'm spending more time with
introduce
the boys.
them.
I'll be spending more time with the boys I have. Because in my new life, I've envisioned I have a wife. She's also African American in my dream.
Okay, all right.
I have an African American wife, and I have 3 sons.
All right.
And I'm always spending time with them, taking them to magic games. We're like always going and doing stuff, always having fun.
Yeah, and they would have been good at basketball.
No, but I
their
dragged
dad-
them down. Yeah, I dragged them
their
down. Yeah,
dad-
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they just got an intense love for it.
Yeah. Like Muggsy Bogues was a one-off.
Bogues.
Oh,
Spud
whatever.
Webb. Muggsy Bogues.
Anyway, also, I found that when I talk to myself, I think, like, this guy's got the goods.
Oh, you give yourself compliments.
No, I'm like,
you're like, take a right here. And when you take a right, you're like, wow, this guy's a great driver.
When I tell my thing, when I'm overthinking something, like, everything I'm thinking, I'm like, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. You're a calculated genius.
I never question when I'm talking to myself.
Keep going, Castleberry Oppenheimer.
All right.
That's what he calls himself.
Let's do one more.
So at 53 minutes and 20 seconds of the most recent Friday Free Show, Tom mentions Ewan McGregor making $35,000 with $400 photo ops. That's only 87 people/groups. I bet they can get way more people through in a few hours. He's also charging $250 for one autograph on an 8x10 photo. The photo is not included in the price. Signing 120 photos in an hour nets $30,000. You can pay $300 for him to autograph any item of your choosing, and he can probably do one of those every 30 seconds.
Sign this dildo, Anakin.
That's $36,000 for another hour of autograph signings. Let's say it takes him 1 minute for each photo op for 2 hours, 1 hour of photo signings, and 1 hour of item signings.
I'm not interested in any of this. It's just, even this is garbage.
That's 4 hours of work for $100K to $120K. If he adds an extra hour to each autograph signing, he's pulling $180K for 6 hours. Even if he only nets half of that, it's $90K for 1 weekend.
Oh, whatever. It's gross, and you guys were all a part of it, and you're gross.
If they can move people through twice as fast as I'm estimating, he and his team stand to make $360,000 in 6 hours. I don't have any basis for these estimates except for the pricing sheet on MegaCon's website and how long I think it takes to sign an autograph, but it does seem like a lot of these celebrities can make a ton of cash doing these appearances.
And it's gross, and it was behind, and everybody just stood around and complained, and it's stupid. And if you were a part of it, you're stupid. There.
The whole
thing's stupid. It's stupid.
There's 100,000 people out there.
No. What you do, if you want to get a celebrity photo, you go hunting like the rest of us. Just like Ted Nugent with his crossbow in the wild. You go hunting for celebrities, you happen to get a photo. If you're paying $400 to stand next, it's stupid. Stupid.
I have thought about the celebrity photo recently, ever since we've been talking about the MegaCon deal.
I like signatures cheaper.
And so what is the difference with someone seeing a photoshopped photo of you and Ewan McGregor? Because that's easy enough. Like, someone could take a Ewan McGregor and then Photoshop me.
I can do it right now on my phone.
And then, we could all do it. Like, everybody's got now on your phone.
But I think part of it is people want the experience of shaking their hand, and they do get a small interaction with them, you know?
But
you're paying for it.
But then
you are paying for it, yeah.
You post the photo on your social media for your friends to see. Yes. Look at me and Ewan McGregor.
It's no different than posting your brand new car.
So and then the people see that, and now they know that it's at a MegaCon or whatever, you know. So like they probably put 2 and 2 together. Like, you stood in line, you paid for it or whatever. You didn't just meet Obi-Wan at the 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which is way cooler. Which is way cooler.
So if you just Photoshop that and then put that on your social media, it's the exact same value to your friends looking at it. Then if you actually
you put too much value on what everybody else thinks. It's not, again, it's about the person. The person paid for that because they wanted to have that experience. Right. It's not about showing. I mean, yes, of course why wouldn't you? You paid for it. You might as well post the photo, but it's for you to have that experience.
Correct. It is for you.
But what's the intent of posting the photo?
Because you got the photo, you might as well post it.
But then you post a photo so other people see it.
Right.
Right.
So what I'm saying, look what I did.
So what I'm saying is that if I post a photo of just a Photoshop of me and Ewan McGregor, and the value to the person seeing it is exactly the same.
Is the same.
Because they're not being like, wait a minute, we got to test this to see if it's. They don't care.
I'd go one step further.
Cares.
I'd go a step further.
Except for the person.
If you posted a picture of yourself photoshopped with you, Photoshop, meeting Ewan McGregor, I'd be like, this guy's crazy. That's what I would say.
But you would know. You would know it's Photoshop. You would assume.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah. But I'd know that you don't like that kind of stuff, so I'd be like, this guy's crazy.
Well, me personally, but so then if you work it even further backwards, yes, it's about the experience.
It's purely a selfish purchase.
You're paying the $400, but you're paying $400 you're only getting how much time with Ewan McGregor? 15 seconds before they usher you off?
It depends if you're just getting the autograph, if you're getting the meet and greet, if
there's
you're
all
getting the
different
picture.
variations.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to yuck on the yum any more than I'm already doing, but it's gross. But if you enjoy it, great. I'm glad you
Of
dig
course.
it. Yeah,
But,
great. Enjoy it.
But what I'm saying is that
Your $400 photo with he's not even holding the sword. He didn't even have robes on, for Christ's sake. He's wearing a dinner jacket.
the $400 value is just the shaking and saying, hi, I really liked you in Star Wars.
The photo is literally just so you can remember that you did it in case you get Alzheimer's.
And then, yeah. But so is that interaction, the hi, I really liked you in Star Wars, you compliment him and he says thank you, you take a photo.
$400.
So I feel like the value that people put to that is the actual photo, and therefore I say you could Photoshop it and have the same
what you're
value.
talking about is
I don't
what
think
you're
it's the meet and
talking
greet.
about. So you're saying that the value of the photo is the photo is the currency to show everybody else that you had the $400 to do it, or maybe you went through because it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Oh,
I would say that standing in line to do that, you kind of get a badge of honor in my eyes, because I'm like, wow, that's a pain in the ass that you did that.
But I also think a lot of people aren't putting two and two together about the line as much, unless you're inside the MegaCon world. Like outside, like if you're just someone who doesn't even know what MegaCon is, and then you see your picture of your nephew standing next to Ewan McGregor from Star Wars, then you're like, oh, look at that. He's standing next to Ewan McGregor. They're not thinking, oh, this person's paid $400, stood in line for 5 hours.
The chat says, I guarantee you Tom's lost more money gambling than anyone has spent on a photo with Ewan McGregor. You can Photoshop a screenshot of your Bovada account to show a positive balance.
I mean, I guess you're just mad because we're crapping on something that you like.
Right, because it is the same in, like, if somebody gets joy and happiness out of this and that's their hobby, the value is the value to them. Right? Just the same as yours.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not crapping on it.
Oh, I am. I'm totally crapping on it. I've never done it. I'll never pay for a picture from a celebrity. I think it's stupid.
You're not crapping on it by saying you're stupid for spending $400 in a picture when you can Photoshop it?
He's not saying that. I'm saying that.
No, I didn't say you're stupid.
I did say you were stupid.
You didn't use the word stupid, but you're like, you could just Photoshop it. Same thing.
I'm saying is the value close to the same thing once it's posted.
To the public, yes.
To the public,
I would agree with that.
Yeah. To you, it's just a Photoshop, so the value, I guess, is zero. But the posted picture...
Unless you really like the Photoshop and you're proud of you, like you did it yourself.
Yeah, I guess so. There's, But I know the...
See, it's just easier to do what I'm doing and say, if you paid for that, you're dumb. It's just easier to do that.
No, like I know everybody likes their own thing.
What's the most expensive one? That's the one I want to know.
Ewan McGregor is probably up
$400.
there.
And that one I heard was just plagued with, like, it ran 5 hours late. You had to wait till his panel was done to come back.
Shatner's probably up there, but still, Obi-Wan Kenobi in that world has got to be the biggest star. As far as, he's bigger than Shatner at this point because Star Wars is more popular now. I don't know. Shatner's famous, but not so much within the younger audience. Like Obi-Wan's going to get everybody in their 20s. Shatner.
Yeah. Andrea would have paid for the Obi-Wan.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're 22, Shatner's, different generation.
So I wonder who's got the most yank. Like, who can go to which place and go $1,000 photo? It's got to be somebody. Who's the white whale of MegaCon photo op?
It was the bald guy. Professor X was the real name.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, yeah, because he's got two. He's got X-Men and Star Wars
and Star Trek.
Star Trek. So I feel like for Star Trek and X-Men, he's gonna maybe because he played two iconic nerd characters.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
Wolverine wouldn't be there, but he'd get more.
Oh, you mean like Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman.
I don't know. This last one had Susan Sarandon at it, right?
Yeah, but Hugh Jackman's bigger in that. Susan Sarandon in that community. I'm saying like Wolverine. If Hugh Jackman is dressed like Wolverine,
you couldn't. Oh my God,
10,000 a picture.
How much do you think a photo op with Susan Sarandon is?
Well, I mean, she's more iconic.
$65.
No, I mean, she's iconic. So
she is less than Ewan McGregor.
Here's something funny. Side note: one of Maisie's friends. I guess I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. One of her relatives is the personal assistant for Miss Sarandon, and so one of Maisie's dance friends was just like there sitting on Susan Sarandon's lap, like getting a photo. Like it was just like from an iPhone. Like, hi, I'm hanging out with Susan. Pretty neat. I'm gonna go $200.
$125.
No. See, that's reasonably priced.
All right.
Well, that's a reasonably priced Sarandon.
We will see it tomorrow.
Boop.
Trying to find.
I wonder who the most expensive one is.
Yeah, I'd have to go through every single one, but where is Are they in alphabetical order? They are not. That's good.
I'm surprised didn't do this because I think he passed away before it was a thing. But I can see Michael Jackson doing that.
Really?
Yeah, like $1,000 a photo or something. You know, like something super expensive. All right, that was Tuesday
4. Let's see, Shatner. Shatner was 145, so he was less than Ewan McGregor.
Was Ewan McGregor the big fish this time?
So far, he's the highest one I've seen.
Oh, we're just fucking around, Christine.
Let's see, Wallace Shawn, how much is he going for? He was only 60.
Does anybody ever, when they do it, does anybody ever do more than just the pipe and drape?
I saw some people with props, but I don't know if the celebrities had the props or
I would
people
like
brought them. Katie Seagal was 100.
That's reasonably priced. Look, if you really like,
the no teeth kid from Stranger Things, also 100. Tom Hiddleston, where's he?
That would have been a big one, right?
He is.
Who's that? Loki?
260. He's more than Ewan McGregor.
Is he Loki?
Yeah. He was more than Ewan McGregor.
Oh, I thought
so
Ewan
he's the big
was,
fish
I
so
thought
far.
Ewan was 400, wasn't he?
That's for the group.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you do a team up with Christensen and McGregor, it's 435. But if you wanted just Ewan McGregor, it was 250.
Like, it would be cool if, I mean, they've got the green screen technology. Why can't they just put you standing in the universe?
Michael J. Fox, how much? Wow, Michael J. Fox was less than Loki.
How much was Michael Jackson?
230.
Michael Jackson, 230. What about Christopher Lloyd?
Let's see. He is.
Christine says that you can bring props
130.
and they'll play along and stuff like that.
So he is 130 as well.
Do we have more to do, or is that our last segment?
No, that's it.
All right.
I do need an intro.
Cool. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, y'all. I'm gonna keep this open then. I want to know who's the most expensive one, because there's got to be somebody.
Leah Thompson. So far, it's been Loki.
He's super popular though. Most of
Leah Thompson's 80.
Most of any of my friends that were going to MegaCon wanted to get a Tom photo, a Hiddleston photo. All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, Stan. That's a sad one. Oh, Charles and Danielle saying Jason Momoa was the most. What was he priced at? I didn't even know he was there.
Danny Trejo.
See y'all. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Be safe out there.